Hello, students. This is my third lecture on the topic of general organic chemistry dealing with reaction mechanism. Hope you might be enjoying it. In last two lectures, we discussed factors influencing organic reactions. In today's lecture, we will discuss about fourth type of electronic effect, that is hyperconjugation, and then the energy factor involved in the reaction. Now, fourth factor is hyperconjugation, which is also termed as no bond resonance. Hyperconjugation is a general stabilization interaction where overlap of the bonding electrons of carbon hydrogen sigma bond takes place with p orbital or pi orbital of adjacent carbon atom. Sigma electrons of carbon hydrogen bond are involved in delocalization process. This hyperconjugation phenomena is a permanent effect. To understand hyperconjugation effect, we take the example of ethyl carbocation, which is shown over here in the slide. Ethyl carbocation means CH3 CH2 plus. Now the carbon which is having positive charge, this one, this has a empty p orbital. So this p orbital which is empty interact with this carbon hydrogen sigma bond. Now these are the various hyperconjugation forms of ethyl carbocation. Now this carbon which is next to positively charged carbon is known as alpha carbon, and the hydrogen atoms that are attached to alpha carbon are termed as alpha hydrogen atom. So as three alpha hydrogen atoms are present over here, all the three alpha hydrogen atoms may individually take part in hyperconjugation. As a result, these are the various hyperconjugation forms. Now, in these hyperconjugation forms, as we can see, there is no bond between this carbon and hydrogen. In other case, there is no bond between second carbon hydrogen, and third one, there is no bond between the next carbon and hydrogen. So this effect is also termed as no bond resonance phenomena. Now in next figure we have shown hyperconjugation that takes place in alkene, and we can also explain the relative stability of alkenes with the help of this hyperconjugation phenomena. In first figure we are showing mono substituted alkene, that is propene. Now this carbon which is next to double bonded carbon, that is known as alpha carbon, and the hydrogen atom that are attached to this alpha carbon are termed as alpha hydrogen. So alpha carbon hydrogen sigma electrons, they are involved in resonance as it is shown here. In next figure we are showing different type of alkenes: mono substituted, di substituted, tri-substituted and tetra-substituted alkene. In case of mono-substituted alkene, there is one alpha carbon. In di-substituted, there are two alpha carbon. In tri-substituted, there are three alpha carbon. And in tetra-substituted, there are four alpha carbon atom. So in tetra-substituted alkene, four alpha carbon atoms are present. All has three hydrogen atoms attached to it. So overall there are 12 sigma bonds present in the molecule. All the 12 sigma electrons of alpha carbon hydrogen bond, they can be involved in hyperconjugation. As a result, number of hyperconjugation forms in this tetra substituted alkene will be maximum, and hence stability of this tetra substituted alkene will be maximum 1. In case of mono substituted alkene, that is propene, there are only 3 alpha hydrogen atoms. Means number of alpha hydrogen atoms are minimum. So minimum number of hyperconjugation forms will be there, and that's why it will be relatively least stable one. Now we come to next and important part of organic reactions, that is energy requirements of organic reactions. Now in general, reactions of inorganic compounds are much faster as compared to that of organic reaction. You know why it is? Because in inorganic compound, reactions takes place between the ions that are provided in the solution by the reactants. But in organic compound, nature of bond is covalent. It does not provide ions in the solution. So, for chemical reaction to take place, existing bond in reactant molecule is to be cleaved, and then only a new bond is formed to give the product. For a chemical reaction to take place, reactant molecules must collide with each other. And all the collisions that take place between reactant molecules are not fruitful. That is, all reactant molecules that collide are not converted into product. For a collision to be fruitful, reactants must have a proper alignment. Means direction of collision must be proper, and they must have a minimum amount of energy which is known as threshold energy. But the average energy of reactant molecules is much less than the threshold energy. So, the additional energy that is required for reactant to be converted into product is known as activation energy. When collision between reactant molecule takes place, the kinetic energy of a colliding molecule is transformed to potential energy. Now, for example, we consider a particular reaction where AB that reacts with C to give AC plus B. In this reaction, initially what happens, reactant molecules C and AB, they have certain amount of potential energy. These reactant molecule also have certain amount of kinetic energy, which on collision is transformed into potential energy, which results in the increase of potential energy of the system, and it acquires a particular state which is known as activated complex, which is also known as transition state, which immediately gives product. Now here we are showing energy profile diagram of organic reactions. Two different graphs are shown. The graph are plotted between potential energy and progress of reaction. In first reaction, these are the reactant. They acquire energy, they cross this energy barrier, and they are converted into product. So this additional energy that is required by a reactant molecule to be converted into product is known as activation energy. Now here it is clear from the graph that the energy of reactant is more than that of the product. Means in this case certain amount of energy is released during this type of reaction process, and this reaction is example of a exothermic reaction. Now in another case, in this slide, here also reactant are being converted into product. This energy barrier is crossed, so this additional energy which is required by reactant molecule to be converted into product is known as activation energy. But in this case you can clearly see that energy of reactant is less than that of the products. Means here in this case certain amount of energy is absorbed when reactant is converted into product. So this type of reaction is example of endothermic reaction. Now this state at the highest point of the curve, this is activated complex or transition state. Now, whenever we talk about reaction mechanism or energy factors, we mainly consider two factors: transition state and reactive intermediate. Most of the students are confused about these two factors, transition state and reactive intermediate. They assume that these two terms are same, but they are not same at all. They are quite different. Transition state is basically a imaginary state which cannot be isolated, because energy of transition state is very high, so life period is almost negligible. As soon as transition state is achieved, it is immediately converted into product. But reactive intermediates are relatively more stable, and they can be isolated by controlling reaction conditions. We will discuss type of reactive intermediate, nature of reactive intermediate, what type of intermediates are formed in our next topic. Now here a reaction is shown where reactant A, B and C, they are converted into product A, C and B. Now during this reaction, this type of transition state is obtained. In this transition state, what happens? There is a partial bond between C and A. There is a partial bond between A and B. No perfect bond is present, and that's why it is highly reactive species. Now, when a chemical reaction takes place through the formation of a intermediate, which is shown in the figure, energy barrier diagram over here, it has to overcome two energy barriers. First, for conversion of reactant into intermediate, like here reactant is being converted into intermediate, and then for conversion of intermediate into product. So these two energy barriers are to be overcome for reaction to take place through intermediate formation. Now, in continuation, in our next lecture, we will discuss about reaction intermediates in detail. Thank you.